Hey, soul survivors, we're going to talk about mental health versus mental illness, how to tell the difference and what exactly is it. So mental health, that just refers to the person's overall psychological well-being. And this encompasses things such as emotional, social, and cognitive, which relates to your thinking, cognitive aspects. It involves the ability to manage stress, relate to others, and make decisions. Good mental health doesn't mean the absence of challenges or negative emotions, but rather the ability to cope with life's ups and downs in a healthy way. So if you start having depression, things like that, that you're not coping, it's kind of like a coping mechanism, and not just necessarily doing something to cope, but handling it to where you still feel good in the things that you're doing. So emotional well-being, when you understand and manage your emotions and coping with stress, that's mental health. And healthy relationships, effective communication with others, and our cognitive functioning, clear thinking, problem solving, and the ability to concentrate. Some mental illnesses deal with concentration a lot. And engaging in adaptive and positive behaviors that contribute to your overall well-being. And that's your behavioral functioning. But mental illness, on the other side, refers to a range of conditions that affect a person's thinking, feeling, behavior, or even their mood. These conditions can be disruptive to daily functioning and may interfere with relationships, work, and other aspects of life. Mental illness are varied. They can include things such as depression, narcissism, anxiety disorders, schizophrenia, bipolar, borderline. There's a lot of mental illnesses, but some of the symptoms of mental illness: observable and reported signs of distress, dysfunction, or impairment in thinking, feeling, and behavior. Now, the duration often persists over time, and that affects the individual's daily life for an extended period, and can be quite uncomfortable and can cause a lot of damage in relationships, work environments, ability to hold jobs, or even complete tasks. So mental illness can interfere with these different domains in our lives, even schoolwork, self-care, relationships, and work. So the diagnosis. Mental illness is often diagnosed based on the criteria outlined within that standardized diagnostic manual, such as the DSM-5. We're in the 5th edition right now. And it does change over time because societal expectations, and different views on certain things that are acceptable and not acceptable. Also new challenges that we come up with. When I was growing up, we really didn't have the internet, and now we have social media exploding with TikTok and Instagram, how that affects people's perception on themselves. So to distinguish between mental health and mental illness, they are kind of related. They exist on a spectrum. And these are some factors. Mental health is associated with effective functioning and coping, while mental illness often involves impairment and distress. So if you are with a narcissist, they can cause mental illness in their victims. So be aware of that. Mental health is a long-term state, whereas mental illness often has persistent symptoms over an extended period of time. Sometimes they're permanent, sometimes they're not, but we need to realize that mental illness is something that needs to be handled. Sometimes it needs medication, sometimes it needs behavioral therapy, cognitive therapy, talk therapy, understanding the way to function in society. And mental health encompasses a range of experiences from doing fantastic in life to even mild stress. Can get extremely, mental health is not without stress. There are stresses, there are challenges, but how you cope with it and how you recover from the stress. Mental illness typically involves more severe and disruptive symptoms. We all get depressed, but how deep does that depression go? And a mental health professional can assess and diagnose mental illness and provide guidance and appropriate treatment. I also have one-on-ones if you guys would like to discuss some of the issues that you are going through, or your partner or person in your life. But mental health is so important because it affects your physical health. It affects your whole environment, whether you're able to function, feel good about yourself. If you don't feel good about yourself, your self-care is going to go. You're not going to be motivated to work. If you're not motivated to work, you might not perform. So you could lose your job, you lose your job, you lose your house, you lose your house, you lose your family, possibly, on and on and on. And it causes, a decrease in self-esteem, because you see your life falling apart if you have struggles with mental illness. So it's not something to just put off. A lot of times it can get worse. It can be quite frustrating. And when you're frustrated, you can become anxious. If you're anxious, you can become depressed. So dealing with the things that you are going through is extremely important. If you guys have any questions or comments, make sure you comment and get the discussion going. This is for other people to help validate what you're going through, so you don't feel so alone. And we're soul survivors. We're going to get through this. Please like and subscribe, share if this will help someone you know, and I'll see you in the next video.